Throughout history, there have been numerous texts that claim to hold the key to understanding the universe, to unlocking secrets about life, faith, and even the future. But one book stands apart from all others, both revered and mysterious, the Bible. For over 2 millennia, its pages have been scrutinized, interpreted, and analyzed, yet still, many believe there are ancient messages hidden within its text, waiting to be decoded. Have you ever wondered if the Bible might be more than just a collection of religious stories and moral teachings? Could it hold within it a code, a divine cipher, that reveals profound truths about the human condition, the world we live in, and the path to success and fulfillment? What if the Bible is not only a spiritual guide, but also a blueprint for business strategy, leadership, and personal growth? In this exploration, we are going to embark on a journey of decoding these ancient messages. But don't expect this to be just another theological discussion. We are going to look at the Bible as a code, a collection of symbols, stories, and teachings that contain practical lessons for modern-day life, especially in the world of business and leadership. Consider this: what if the story of Joseph, the young dreamer who was betrayed by his own brothers and sold into slavery, contains the ultimate lesson in resilience and strategic vision? Or what if Moses, the reluctant leader who freed the Israelites from slavery, has valuable lessons about leadership during times of crisis, navigating uncertainty, and building a legacy that outlasts a lifetime? And could the teachings of Jesus, often regarded as a spiritual guide, hold crucial lessons about business ethics, servant leadership, and the power of compassion in the workplace? But here's the twist: these messages aren't always easy to understand. The Bible is written in layers. It speaks on many levels. What seems like a simple parable or a historical account may, in fact, be encoded with wisdom that can only be unlocked by those who are willing to dig deeper. That's where we come in. Today, we will begin to peel back the layers of the Bible, revealing the hidden lessons that have the power to change our approach to life, business, and everything in between. But before we dive in, let's ask ourselves a crucial question: can we truly decode the Bible's ancient messages and apply them to our modern-day challenges? Or have these messages been lost in time, waiting for the right minds to uncover their true meaning? In the next few minutes, we will begin to explore just that. Together, we will begin the process of unraveling the divine cipher, the hidden messages of the Bible that could transform the way we lead, live, and do business. One of the most captivating and often overlooked stories in the Bible is that of Joseph, the son of Jacob. His story, found in the book of Genesis, is one of betrayal, suffering, and eventual triumph. It is a tale of resilience, vision, and the power of dreams, qualities that can resonate deeply in both personal and professional life. Joseph, the youngest of 12 brothers, was his father's favorite. His multicolored coat, given to him as a symbol of his father's affection, became a mark of his distinctiveness, and also a source of resentment and jealousy among his brothers. In a fit of jealousy, they decided to betray him. They threw him into a pit, sold him into slavery, and told their father that Joseph had been killed by a wild animal. But Joseph's story didn't end there. Despite the dire circumstances, he never lost hope. His journey from a young, favored son to a slave in Egypt became the catalyst for a transformation that would ultimately change the course of history. This is where we begin to uncover the first layer of the divine cipher within Joseph's story: resilience and vision in the face of adversity. Joseph's story serves as a powerful reminder that setbacks and betrayals are often the starting points for something much greater. In the world of business and leadership, this lesson is invaluable. Consider Joseph's time as a slave in the house of Potiphar. He found himself in a foreign land, far from home, stripped of his family and status. Yet, he didn't wallow in despair. Instead, he worked diligently and rose to a position of trust and responsibility. Potiphar recognized Joseph's abilities, and Joseph became the overseer of his household. It wasn't just Joseph's hard work that propelled him forward, it was his ability to remain steadfast and focused on his ultimate goal. Even in the most challenging of circumstances, Joseph's story teaches us an important business lesson: the power of maintaining integrity and vision. No matter the situation, in business, we are often faced with circumstances that feel beyond our control: a downturn in the market, unexpected competition, or personal betrayals within our team. But Joseph's resilience shows us that these challenges are not the end of the road. Instead, they are opportunities to sharpen our skills, build our character, and prepare ourselves for the next phase of our journey. Another crucial moment in Joseph's life was his time in prison. After being falsely accused by Potiphar's wife, Joseph found himself locked away in a dark, cold cell. It seemed as if everything was lost. Yet, even in this lowest moment, Joseph remained faithful and used his talents. He interpreted dreams for his fellow prisoners, and eventually, his skills reached the ears of Pharaoh. Pharaoh, the ruler of Egypt, had a troubling dream that no one could interpret. Joseph's ability to interpret dreams came to the forefront, and his life would change forever. He told Pharaoh that Egypt would experience 7 years of abundance followed by 7 years of famine, advising the king to store up grain during the good years to survive the lean years. Pharaoh was so impressed that he made Joseph his second in command, placing him in charge of Egypt's entire food supply. Here, Joseph's ability to recognize opportunities in times of uncertainty became crucial. He turned a potential disaster into a chance to save not only Egypt but also the surrounding nations. This was not just a stroke of luck, it was a reflection of Joseph's strategic foresight, which was deeply rooted in his ability to see the bigger picture, a vision that allowed him to make decisions that would have long-term benefits for his country. Joseph's rise to power teaches us about strategic leadership and the ability to act in the face of adversity. In the business world, we often face periods of uncertainty and economic downturns. The true test of leadership comes not during the prosperous times, but during the difficult ones. Joseph's ability to forecast the future and make decisions that would secure Egypt's future highlights the importance of planning ahead and being prepared for both good and bad times. He teaches us that the leaders who thrive are the ones who can not only handle adversity but also turn it into an opportunity for growth. Joseph's story continues to unfold in the later chapters of Genesis, where we see him reconcile with his brothers, forgive them for their betrayal, and ultimately reunite with his family. It's a story that exemplifies forgiveness, grace, and the importance of maintaining strong relationships, even in the face of betrayal. This is another important lesson that Joseph's story imparts, in both personal and professional life. It is crucial to understand the value of forgiveness and moving forward with a sense of peace. But even after all the hardships Joseph endured, he never forgot the dreams he had as a boy, the dreams that had once angered his brothers and had set everything in motion. Those dreams were a glimpse of his future and the future of his people. Joseph's dreams weren't just fleeting thoughts, they were divinely inspired visions that guided him through the darkest of times. In business, too, the ability to hold on to your vision, even when others doubt you or when circumstances seem bleak, is a powerful quality. So, what can we take from Joseph's story and apply to our own lives, especially in the context of business and leadership? First, we learn that adversity can be a stepping stone to success. Joseph's story teaches us that setbacks, no matter how severe, are often the catalyst for greater things. They build resilience, shape our character, and help us develop skills we never knew we had. Joseph's time in slavery and prison was the very foundation for his eventual rise to power. Second, Joseph shows us the importance of vision. His ability to see beyond his immediate circumstances and focus on his ultimate goal is a critical business lesson. As leaders, we must be able to look past the current struggles and focus on the long-term vision that guides us. Third, Joseph teaches us about the importance of integrity and character. Even when he was faced with temptations or betrayals, Joseph never compromised his values. In business, integrity is the bedrock of trust, and trust is what drives success. Finally, Joseph's story highlights the value of forgiveness. Holding on to grudges or resentment can limit our potential. By forgiving those who wrong us, we free ourselves from the weight of bitterness and open the door to new opportunities for collaboration and success. Joseph's story is a perfect example of how ancient teachings in the Bible can be decoded and applied to the challenges of modern-day life and business. By studying his life, we can learn to navigate our own journeys with resilience, vision, and integrity, all while staying true to our dreams and values. Another powerful figure in the Bible whose life offers invaluable lessons for leadership and resilience is Moses. His story, spanning from his birth in Egypt to leading the Israelites through the wilderness, is filled with moments of doubt, miraculous events, and transformative leadership. Moses' journey, much like Joseph's, holds the keys to understanding the importance of vision, faith, and leadership in the face of adversity. Moses was born at a time when the Israelites were living in slavery in Egypt. Pharaoh, fearing the growing population of the Israelites, had ordered the death of all Hebrew male infants. Moses' mother, in a desperate act of faith, placed him in a basket and sent him down the Nile River, where he was found and adopted by Pharaoh's daughter. From this humble and miraculous beginning, Moses' life would unfold in ways that no one, not even he, could have foreseen. The first lesson we can draw from Moses' life is the power of divine intervention and destiny. Moses was born into a world of oppression, yet through an act of faith and courage from his mother, he was saved. His life was not just a product of circumstance but was guided by a greater purpose. This idea of destiny, or having a divine plan, is an important concept not just in religion, but in business and leadership as well. In the business world, leaders are often faced with difficult decisions that seem to go against the grain or contradict the conventional wisdom of their time. Like Moses, who felt inadequate and hesitant to lead the Israelites out of Egypt. Business leaders may feel ill-equipped or overwhelmed by the challenges they face. But Moses' story teaches us that there is a greater purpose and divine guidance at play. Often, we are placed in positions of leadership not because we are fully prepared for the challenges ahead, but because we have a role to play in a larger plan. As Moses grew older, he witnessed the injustice faced by his people. One day, in a moment of passion, he killed an Egyptian who was beating a Hebrew slave, and as a result, he fled into the wilderness. For many years, Moses lived as a shepherd, far from the grandeur of Egypt and the oppression of his people. But it was during this time of exile, in the quiet of the desert, that Moses encountered God in the form of a burning bush. The burning bush experience was pivotal not only in Moses' life but in understanding what it means to receive a divine calling. God spoke to Moses, telling him that he had been chosen to lead the Israelites out of Egypt and into the Promised Land. Moses, despite his reluctance and self-doubt, accepted the challenge. The lesson here is clear: leadership often comes through unexpected channels. And it requires us to embrace the calling, even when we feel unworthy or ill-prepared. Moses' hesitation and doubts are relatable to many of us in business and leadership. How often do we question our ability to lead? How often do we hesitate to take on new challenges or pursue our true calling because we feel inadequate or fearful of failure? Moses' story reminds us that true leadership is not about feeling ready, but about answering the call when it comes, even if we feel unsure of our own abilities. When Moses returned to Egypt to confront Pharaoh, he was not met with immediate success. In fact, Pharaoh rejected Moses' plea to let the Israelites go, and the situation grew more difficult. The story of Moses and Pharaoh is one of perseverance. Despite the hardship, Moses did not back down. He continued to demand Pharaoh's cooperation, guided by the belief that God had a plan and that he was merely an instrument in fulfilling it. This is where Moses' leadership shines. He persisted in the face of adversity and remained focused on the bigger picture. His role was not to control the outcome, but to remain faithful and obedient to his divine mission. This is an important lesson for business leaders. Sometimes, success does not come quickly or easily. There are setbacks, failures, and obstacles. But as leaders, we must have the patience and perseverance to keep moving forward, even when the results are not immediate. The miracles that followed, the plagues, the parting of the Red Sea, the manna from heaven, served as a testament to Moses' faith and the power of divine guidance. But what is often overlooked is Moses' role in unifying the people of Israel. He was not just a leader who performed miracles, he was also a leader who had to inspire, motivate, and bring together a community that had suffered for generations under slavery. In business, this is one of the most challenging aspects of leadership, unifying a team. Especially during times of crisis, Moses had to convince the Israelites that they were worthy of freedom, that they could overcome the obstacles ahead, and that they could trust in a future that seemed uncertain. Similarly, business leaders must unite their teams around a common goal and inspire them to continue working toward success. Even when the road ahead seems unclear, Moses' leadership was not just about guiding people to freedom but also about instilling a sense of purpose and trust in the process. When the Israelites began to doubt and complain during their journey through the wilderness, Moses continued to reassure them that God's plan would come to fruition. He showed them that faith, perseverance, and vision were the keys to overcoming their current hardships and achieving their ultimate goal. But Moses' story does not end with the Exodus. After leading the Israelites for 40 years in the wilderness, he was not allowed to enter the promised land himself. Yet, Moses did not despair. He understood that his role was not to claim the reward but to prepare the people for what was to come. This final lesson is crucial for leaders today. Sometimes, our work is not about achieving the end goal ourselves, but about empowering others and ensuring that they are equipped to succeed in the future. Moses' life is a model of visionary leadership. He saw beyond the present struggles and focused on the long-term goal of bringing the Israelites to a better future. His story teaches us that effective leadership is not just about immediate results, but about staying the course and helping others see the bigger picture. It also teaches us that leadership is often a process of preparation. And sometimes, that preparation involves sacrifice. As business leaders, we can learn a great deal from Moses' story. His life offers profound lessons on visionary leadership, perseverance, unity, and the importance of empowering others. These qualities are timeless and essential for those who aspire to lead with purpose, especially in the face of adversity. As we continue our journey through the ancient messages embedded in the Bible, we come to the most influential figure of all, Jesus Christ. His life and teachings have transcended time, inspiring billions of people around the world. But beyond the spiritual lessons he imparted, Jesus' life offers profound insights into leadership, ethics, and the importance of compassion in both personal and professional endeavors. Unlike the stories of Joseph and Moses, Jesus' story is not just about rising to power, overcoming adversity, or leading a nation to freedom. It is about leading with love, compassion, and integrity. Jesus' leadership was not based on earthly power or wealth, but on the strength of his character and his ability to connect with others on a deeply personal level. One of the key aspects of Jesus' leadership was his unwavering commitment to serve others. In a world that often values status, wealth, and power, Jesus taught that true greatness is found in service to others. He famously said, "The greatest among you will be your servant," Matthew chapter 23 verse 11. This principle is revolutionary, especially in the context of business and leadership today, where competition and personal ambition often take center stage. In Jesus' time, leaders were expected to hold power, influence, and authority, but Jesus flipped this concept on its head. Instead of seeking to be served, he chose to serve. This is clearly demonstrated when Jesus washed the feet of his disciples, an act of humility that shocked everyone who witnessed it. By performing this act, Jesus set a powerful example of servant leadership, showing that the true measure of leadership is not in how many people serve you, but in how much you are willing to serve others. In business, this idea of servant leadership is often misunderstood. Many leaders think their role is to dictate, control, or demand respect. However, Jesus teaches us that the best leaders are those who lead by example, who inspire trust and loyalty through their actions rather than their titles. By prioritizing the needs of others, leaders create a culture of respect, collaboration, and mutual growth. Another important lesson from Jesus' life is the concept of leading with integrity. Throughout his ministry, Jesus remained true to his values and principles, even when it meant going against the expectations of those around him. He did not compromise his beliefs to gain followers or wealth. This is particularly relevant in today's business world, where ethical dilemmas are common, and the pressure to cut corners or compromise on values can be overwhelming. Jesus' integrity was seen most clearly in his response to temptation, when he was offered power and wealth by Satan in the wilderness. He rejected all of it. He chose instead to remain true to his mission, teaching that true success is not measured by material wealth or status, but by the quality of one's character and the impact one has on the lives of others. This commitment to integrity is something every leader in any field should strive for. Jesus' ability to empathize with people and understand their needs was another hallmark of his leadership. He had a remarkable ability to connect with people from all walks of life, from the poorest, most marginalized individuals to the most powerful leaders of the time. Jesus' leadership was not about dominating or impressing others with his wisdom or authority. Instead, it was about understanding the pain, hopes, and struggles of the people around him and offering them solutions grounded in love and compassion. This aspect of leadership is something that many modern leaders often overlook. In today's fast-paced, results-driven world, leaders can sometimes become disconnected from the people they lead. But Jesus shows us that the best leaders are those who listen, understand, and provide support to their teams. Empathy is key to effective leadership. It helps to build trust, foster a positive work culture, and create a sense of loyalty and belonging among team members. Perhaps one of the most powerful aspects of Jesus' leadership was his ability to forgive. Jesus did not lead through punishment or fear, rather, he led through love and forgiveness. One of the most famous stories is when he forgave a woman caught in adultery. Instead of condemning her, he showed mercy and encouraged her to lead a better life. This story illustrates the importance of forgiving others, even when they have wronged us. Forgiveness is not only a spiritual principle but also a powerful tool in leadership and business. In any organization, there will be mistakes, misunderstandings, and conflicts. The ability to forgive, to let go of past grievances and move forward, is essential for maintaining harmony and cooperation. Jesus teaches us that forgiveness leads to healing and growth, both individually and collectively. Jesus' teachings also emphasize the importance of leading with a sense of purpose. Throughout his ministry, Jesus was clear about his mission, to bring people closer to God and to show them how to live righteous lives. He did not waver from this purpose, even in the face of great opposition. His unwavering commitment to his mission is a lesson that leaders in any field can learn from. In business, it is easy to become distracted by external pressures, whether it's financial goals, competition, or market demands. But Jesus' life teaches us that true leadership is about staying focused on a higher purpose, one that transcends personal gain and touches the lives of others in meaningful ways. When we lead with purpose, our decisions become clearer, and our actions have a deeper impact. One final lesson from Jesus' leadership is his emphasis on community and collaboration. While he often worked alone, he also gathered a community of disciples who helped him spread his message. He showed that even the greatest leaders need a team to succeed. In business, this translates into the importance of building a strong, cohesive team that shares a common vision and values. A leader cannot achieve greatness alone. They must rely on the strength and support of those around them. Jesus' life is a powerful testament to the importance of compassion, integrity, empathy, forgiveness, and purpose-driven leadership. His teachings remind us that leadership is not about power or control but about serving others, leading with love, and staying true to one's values. Whether in business, in life, or in our communities, the principles Jesus embodied are timeless and universally applicable. As we reflect on his life, we are reminded that leadership is not just about what we accomplish individually, but about the impact we have on the lives of others. True leaders inspire and empower those around them, just as Jesus inspired and empowered those he encountered. As we continue to delve deeper into the Bible's timeless wisdom, we come across another powerful source of guidance, the parables of Jesus. These short stories, often simple in their structure but profound in meaning, offer powerful insights not only into spiritual growth but also into leadership, problem solving, and business strategy. Jesus used parables to teach complex moral and ethical lessons, illustrating how simple acts of wisdom and discernment could lead to extraordinary outcomes. By examining these stories, we can uncover lessons that are just as relevant today in the realm of business and leadership. One of the most famous parables that speaks to the heart of strategic thinking and risk management is the parable of the talents. In this story, a master entrusts 3 of his servants with different amounts of money, or talents, while he goes on a journey. The first servant invests the money and doubles it. The second servant does the same. But the third servant hides his talent out of fear of losing it. When the master returns, he rewards the first 2 servants for their faithfulness and initiative, but punishes the third servant for failing to take risks. The key lesson here is the importance of taking calculated risks and seizing opportunities. In business, as in life, the fear of failure can often hold us back from making bold decisions. But this parable reminds us that avoiding risk entirely can be just as detrimental as taking reckless risks. Great leaders are not those who never fail, but those who understand that failure is often a necessary step toward growth and success. It's about having the courage to take the right risks at the right time. knowing that rewards come to those who act with faith, vision, and strategy. Another important lesson from the parables is found in the parable of the Good Samaritan. In this story, a man is robbed and left for dead by the side of the road. While others pass by without offering help, a Samaritan, a member of a group traditionally despised by the Jews, stops to help the man, providing him with care and ensuring his safety. The key message here is about leadership through compassion and the importance of caring for others, even when it's inconvenient or when there is no immediate personal gain. In the business world, this parable underscores the idea that successful leaders prioritize the welfare of others. Leading with compassion, especially in times of difficulty, fosters loyalty and trust among employees, customers, and partners. It's not just about the bottom line, it's about creating a positive and supportive environment where people feel valued. In an age where corporate social responsibility and ethical business practices are becoming more important, the Good Samaritan's willingness to help others, without expecting anything in return, offers a powerful model for business leaders who want to make a lasting impact. The parable of the lost sheep further highlights another essential aspect of leadership, the value of perseverance and loyalty. In this story, a shepherd leaves his flock of 99 sheep to go in search of one lost sheep. When he finds it, he rejoices, saying that his joy over one lost sheep is greater than over the 99 who did not stray. The message here is about the importance of every individual and the lengths a leader should go to in order to help and support their team. Whether it's a troubled employee, a challenging project, or an underperforming product, this parable teaches us that no one should be left behind, and that investing time and resources to help someone or something in need is a reflection of strong leadership. In the business context, this parable reminds leaders that everyone on their team is valuable. Every individual, no matter how small their role may seem, contributes to the overall success of the organization. Great leaders recognize the potential in each person and are willing to go the extra mile to develop, support, and nurture talent. It's not about giving up on individuals when they face challenges, but about providing the guidance and resources they need to succeed, even if that means making a difficult decision or taking a less conventional approach. Another parable worth reflecting on is the parable of the sower, which focuses on how different people respond to the message of God. Symbolized by seeds that fall on various types of soil, the seeds that fall on good soil produce a bountiful harvest, while those that fall on rocky or thorny soil fail to grow. This story teaches the importance of cultivating the right environment for success and growth. In a business setting, the parable of the sower speaks to the idea of creating the right culture within a company. Just as a seed needs good soil to thrive, employees need a positive and supportive environment to reach their full potential. Leaders must create a culture of trust, respect, and opportunity, where innovation, creativity, and collaboration can flourish. A company with the right culture attracts top talent, encourages employee engagement, and fosters loyalty. A healthy organizational culture is one of the most important factors in long-term business success. Jesus also taught about the importance of serving with integrity and humility in his parable of the Pharisee and the tax collector. In this parable, a Pharisee proudly prays to God, thanking him for his righteousness, while a tax collector humbly asks for mercy, acknowledging his sinfulness. Jesus teaches that humility and sincerity in leadership are far more valuable than self-righteousness or arrogance. In the business world, humility is a trait that is often overlooked but is critical for success. Leaders who act with humility inspire respect and loyalty from their teams. They understand that their position is not one of superiority but of service. Humility fosters open communication, collaboration, and the ability to learn from others, all of which are essential for growth and innovation in business. The parables of Jesus provide a treasure trove of leadership lessons that are still relevant in the modern world. They emphasize the importance of risk-taking, compassion, perseverance, and humility, qualities that great leaders embody every day. By integrating these lessons into our lives and businesses, we can become better leaders, not just in the professional sense, but as human beings who understand the deeper purpose of leadership, to serve others, to make a positive impact, and to lead with integrity and love. In today's fast-paced, competitive world, where businesses are driven by profits and outcomes, the teachings of Jesus remind us that leadership is about more than just achieving financial success. It's about leaving a lasting, positive legacy, fostering growth in others, and building a better world, one decision at a time. As we move forward in exploring the depths of biblical wisdom, we arrive at one of the most significant moments in Jesus' life, the Great Commission. After his resurrection, Jesus entrusted his disciples with a profound mission, to spread his teachings to the ends of the earth. This moment in the Bible is not only a spiritual directive but also an important lesson for leaders in any field, especially business, about the power of vision, perseverance, and collective action. The Great Commission is found in Matthew chapter 28 verses 18 to 20, where Jesus tells his disciples, "All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Therefore go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you." Jesus' words here emphasize the need for global thinking, a vision that goes beyond local or immediate goals, and challenges us to think about the larger impact we can have. In business, the lesson of the Great Commission is the power of expansion and influence. Jesus didn't just want his message to stay in one region or among a select few, he wanted it to reach all nations. For leaders, this serves as a reminder that growth and expansion are vital components of any business strategy. Whether it's reaching new markets, scaling operations, or diversifying products, the mission is clear: growth and influence are crucial for long-term success. Moreover, Jesus emphasized teaching and empowering others as part of this mission. It was not enough for the disciples to simply spread the message, they were called to teach others to obey the commandments and to pass on the knowledge they had received. In a business context, this translates into the importance of empowering your team. A successful leader doesn't simply give orders, they provide guidance, support, and education to help others grow. Leadership is about creating an environment where your team can learn, develop, and contribute meaningfully to the organization's success. The Great Commission also underscores the need for resilience. The disciples were sent out into a world that was often hostile to their message. Yet they were committed to their mission despite the difficulties and opposition they faced. This is a powerful reminder that leadership requires perseverance, especially in challenging times. In business, obstacles are inevitable, whether it's economic downturns, market competition, or internal conflicts, but great leaders push through adversity with determination and focus. In addition to resilience, the Great Commission highlights the importance of collaboration. Jesus did not send his disciples alone, he sent them in groups, emphasizing the power of working together toward a common goal. This lesson is invaluable in business, where collaboration and teamwork are essential for success. Leaders who foster a collaborative environment create organizations where ideas can be shared, problems can be solved collectively, and success can be achieved as a team. The strength of a business is not just in its leadership, but in the synergy created by a motivated, cohesive team working towards shared objectives. The message of the Great Commission also invites leaders to think about the bigger picture. Jesus' mission was not just about immediate success but about the long-term impact on humanity. In the business world, leaders must often balance short-term profits with long-term sustainability. This requires a strategic vision, one that sees beyond the immediate bottom line and considers the company's legacy, its impact on employees, customers, and communities, and its role in a larger social or global context. As leaders, we must also recognize that our influence is not limited to our immediate surroundings. Just as Jesus' disciples were to go out into the world, we too have the opportunity to influence beyond our local sphere. In today's interconnected world, businesses can have a global reach, and leaders must be conscious of their responsibility to make a positive impact not just within their company but across industries, cultures, and societies. This broader view is essential for any modern leader looking to leave a lasting legacy. Another crucial lesson in the Great Commission is the role of accountability. Jesus instructed his disciples to teach others to obey everything he had commanded. This was not just about spreading information but about ensuring that others followed through on the teachings. In business, accountability is key. Leaders must not only set goals and expectations but also ensure that their teams are committed to upholding the values and principles of the organization. An accountable team is one that is responsible, trustworthy, and motivated to achieve collective success. This aspect of accountability also ties into building trust within an organization. Just as Jesus trusted his disciples to carry out his mission, leaders in business must trust their teams to execute the vision and goals of the company. Trust is the foundation of any successful organization, and without it, even the most well-planned strategies will falter. Leaders who foster trust create a culture of openness, collaboration, and mutual respect, where employees feel valued and motivated to perform their best. The Great Commission also emphasizes the role of mentorship and leadership development. Jesus took time to train his disciples, not just in the content of his message, but in how to live it out and how to teach others. He didn't just send them out into the world without preparation, he equipped them with the knowledge, skills, and wisdom they needed to succeed. Similarly, in business, it is crucial for leaders to invest in the development of future leaders within their organization. A great leader is one who not only leads by example but also mentors and nurtures those who will carry the torch after them. The Great Commission concludes with a promise, "And surely I am with you always, to the very end of the age." Matthew chapter 28 verse 20. This is a powerful affirmation of the importance of constant support and guidance. Even as leaders face challenges and setbacks, the knowledge that they are not alone, that they have the support of their team, their mentors, and their values, provides the strength to continue pushing forward. In business, this can be interpreted as the importance of maintaining a support network. Whether it's through mentorship, peer relationships, or organizational resources, leaders need the support of others to navigate the complexities of leadership. No leader succeeds in isolation, they are supported by a network of individuals who help them overcome challenges, learn from mistakes, and celebrate victories. The Great Commission, then, is not just a spiritual directive, but a roadmap for leadership that spans both the religious and the business worlds. It teaches us the importance of vision, empowerment, resilience, collaboration, and accountability, all essential elements of effective leadership. Jesus' final command to his disciples challenges us to think globally, to lead with purpose, and to mentor the next generation of leaders. As we reflect on the life and teachings of Jesus, it becomes clear that leadership is not about power or control, but about service, vision, and creating lasting change. Whether we are leading a company, a community, or a family, the principles outlined in the Great Commission offer timeless guidance for how to lead with integrity, compassion, and purpose. As we reflect on the teachings of the Bible, especially the lessons we've uncovered in the parables, stories of figures like Joseph, Moses, and the Great Commission, one thing becomes clear: the principles of leadership, perseverance, and vision have been timeless throughout history. Whether one is leading a business, a community, or a family, the lessons from the Bible remain profoundly relevant. These ancient teachings not only provide insight into how to be a better leader, but also how to build a life and a business rooted in integrity, compassion, and lasting impact. The Bible's messages about leadership are far from merely spiritual or religious ideals. They are practical principles that transcend time and space, offering modern leaders a blueprint for success. The stories of figures like Joseph, who endured hardship and betrayal only to rise to greatness, or Moses, who faced insurmountable odds and led his people out of slavery, are not just narratives from ancient texts. These are stories of resilience, vision, and faith, qualities that modern leaders must cultivate to navigate the challenges of today's fast-paced, ever-changing world. Joseph's journey teaches us that failure is not the end, but merely a stepping stone to greater success. His ability to remain patient, trust in his own abilities, and adapt to changing circumstances propelled him from the pit of despair to the pinnacle of success. For modern business leaders, Joseph's story is a powerful reminder that setbacks and failures are inevitable, but how we respond to them defines our future. Resilience and self-belief are just as important in business as technical skills or market knowledge. Leaders who embody these qualities inspire their teams and create a culture where failure is seen as part of the journey toward success, not as a final destination. Similarly, Moses' leadership in guiding the Israelites through the desert offers a profound lesson in visionary leadership and perseverance. Moses' journey wasn't just about achieving a goal, it was about keeping faith through adversity, staying true to his vision despite overwhelming challenges. Leadership is not always about quick wins or easy paths, it's about enduring commitment to a greater cause. Even when the road is tough, Modern business leaders can draw strength from Moses' story, recognizing that long-term success often requires persistence, patience, and a clear vision, even in the face of uncertainty. Just like Moses, the most effective leaders are those who can guide their teams through tough times, offering hope, direction, and support along the way. When we shift our focus to the teachings of Jesus, particularly the parables, we find a rich wellspring of wisdom for leadership in any domain. The parable of the talents challenges us to think about investment, risk-taking, and the growth potential of the resources we have. Leaders are stewards of their teams, their ideas, and their businesses, just as the servant who invested wisely in the parable was rewarded. So too are leaders who take calculated risks, invest in their people, and work with foresight and vision. Growth doesn't come from playing it safe, it comes from embracing opportunity, taking action, and putting faith in the potential of the people around us. The parable of the Good Samaritan, with its emphasis on compassion, reminds us that leadership should not be about power or self-interest, but about serving others. Business is not just about profits, it's about the people, the employees, the customers, the communities that are affected by the work we do. Leaders who adopt a servant mindset, placing the well-being of others at the center of their leadership, create cultures of trust, respect, and loyalty. In today's business world, where employees are increasingly looking for purpose-driven work, leaders who embody compassion and care for their teams can build stronger, more resilient companies. In fact, many modern companies that prioritize ethical practices, diversity, and community involvement experience long-term success because they have built loyal and committed workforces. The parable of the lost sheep emphasizes that leadership is about the individual as much as it is about the collective. A good leader values every team member and works to ensure no one is left behind. In the business world, this lesson translates into nurturing talent, providing opportunities for growth, and ensuring that every employee feels valued. Great leaders recognize the potential in all their people, even those who may not always stand out, and they invest in their growth. Empowering individuals to succeed not only strengthens the team but also fosters innovation and creativity, which are essential to business success. Then there's the Great Commission, which encapsulates the essence of purpose-driven leadership. Jesus didn't just empower his disciples, he gave them a mission, to spread his teachings to the world. This mission wasn't just about expanding influence, but about making a lasting impact on people's lives. Leaders who lead with purpose, who have a clear vision for not just short-term success but for long-term transformation, are the ones who leave a legacy. Whether in business, politics, or any field, leaders who serve with purpose create movements, not just companies. They inspire others to join them in a cause that's bigger than themselves. A cause that drives not just profits but positive change in the world. As we reflect on all these biblical lessons, it becomes evident that true leadership is not about status, power, or wealth, but about service, vision, and impact. It's about leading with integrity, cultivating a sense of purpose in everything you do, and understanding that success isn't defined by how much you acquire, but by how much you give back and the difference you make. The Bible's ancient wisdom offers timeless truths that are as relevant in today's boardrooms as they were in the times of Moses, Joseph, and Jesus. In our modern, often fragmented world, where success is often measured by numbers and profits, it's easy to lose sight of the deeper purpose of leadership. But when we look at the example of biblical figures, we are reminded that true leadership has the power to transform lives, not just the lives of those we lead, but our own lives as well. It's a leadership rooted in service, resilience, compassion, and a deep understanding of what truly matters. The next time you face a challenge, whether in your business or personal life, remember these biblical lessons. Lean into resilience like Joseph. Lead with vision and purpose like Moses. Embrace opportunities and risks like the servants in the parable of the talents, and serve with compassion and integrity like the Good Samaritan. As you lead your own journey, may you find strength in these ancient stories and inspiration to create your own lasting impact, just as they did in their time.